Welcome to Demo, the show in which we have companies talk about their new products and they show us how they work. Joining me today is Sean Nolan. He is the CEO of Blink, an employee application that delivers a modern intranet to everyone in an organization, especially frontline workers who might not have access to desktop or mobile laptop equipment. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Keith.
Yeah, so I think I described it the best way that I could, but again, this is designed for frontline workers. And when we think about this, I think some of the examples you gave were paramedics, EMTs,
right,
grocery store workers,
yeah,
or frontline retail. Talk a little bit more about why this app got designed. Like, what problem were you solving?
Yeah, so in most organizations where there's kind of a mixed workforce, there's some people behind a desk and some people out in the field, or frontline workers, or retail, like you said, hospitality. Typically, the frontline workers have a very different experience to desk-based workers, and the end result is that they don't have convenient access to all of the tools, technology, for convenience that everyone else has who sits behind a desk. Maybe, you worked in retail for a bit, right?
Yeah.
So you know what it's like. You have to go to find a shared computer in some dark, dingy room that probably doesn't work, and you try and log onto some portal to swap a shift, or to fill out a survey, or to get access to your pay stub, or to do something you've been told to do, some e-learning or some training. It's really clunky and hard.
Right.
So typically in most organizations like that technology doesn't get used, and actually it's still paper-based, toolbox talks, or word of mouth, rumors spreading faster than facts, all that kind of stuff. So technology really hasn't taken off for those desk-based workers. So that's what Blink's
Yeah, I think in order to find out of any company initiatives or things like that, it would be on a bulletin board somewhere, or a bulletin board that never gets updated.
Yeah, so the net impact of that is a lot of those workers feel very disconnected from the organization. They feel
right,
like they're not part of the mission, the vision, the values of the company, or they don't feel connected to them anyway. But the opposite is true. There's normally a lot of good content being created. There's a lot of good intention from head office and from people who sit behind desks, but there's just that disconnect between these people in these two different worlds. One's online and highly connected, and the other one very analog and offline still.
Okay, so yeah, show us what you've designed here with Blink, and let's go ahead and go through the demo of showing you some different scenarios.
Yeah, of course. So here I've got both experiences up on the screen. So you've got your kind of desk-based experience for people who sit behind
on the left,
on
right?
the left,
yep.
yeah.
And then on the right is the mobile.
So most companies we work with, about 20% of workers are desk-based. So transit, healthcare, manufacturing, retail, logistics. And then about 80% of the workers are mobile. So, and typically, often they don't even have a workplace email address, right? So one of our sort of taglines is no email, no problem. Mm-hmm. So what we're trying to do is create a really compelling, I'll just get rid of the desktop experience for a minute. Really compelling experience for those deskless workers. So how do we make it easy for them to onboard? So we have a one-touch onboarding process. How do we make it secure for them? But then how do we give them access to everything they need and care about through one application? And a lot of that is about our hub. So let me just pull up my phone here.
Yep.
So really what we're trying to do is bring together all of the other applications that the organization's already invested in and make them accessible through this one app. So they don't need to download an app for benefits, an app for e-learning, an app for pay stubs, an app for scheduling, rostering. They can just access all of that.
Oh, that's helpful too. So then you're not filling up their phone with multiple apps.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So you take the Workday example here. If I just click on Workday, we're gonna authenticate the user and load Workday inside of Blink in a really slick way.
Okay.
And people love this. Our adoption rates are super high because it's kind of this one-stop shop, which is kind of thing that everyone dreams about.
Okay.
But if I just kick off the demo,
the example here is the paramedics, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So we have about 20 EMS, EMT agencies across the US. So we're here in Boston. Nearly all of the paramedics around here will have Blink on their personal smartphone.
Okay.
And in this example here, which is kind of based around that persona, they might open up the app when they're about to start a shift, or when they have started a shift, and just have a quick look at what's going on, and immediately they're going to see, there's a travel disruption, so they can immediately see that. They can acknowledge it, so then their supervisor can check who's seen it and who hasn't, and maybe radio out to people who haven't acknowledged just to check they've seen there's something going on in the field. So that critical real-time communication, whether there's a snowstorm coming in, or whether there's been a major incident, or other things as well,
right,
can happen in the same sort of format that people are familiar with. It's very friendly. We don't need to do any training. There's no onboarding. It's just very intuitive how this all works. And in that same feed, we've got some softer culture building stuff that's a lot of reward and recognition, and a lot of feeling connected to the to the company's values. But then, as we scroll down, we can immediately see, oh look, there's a new shift available. So we've got practical things. All of this is tailored and personalized to me and my role in my location, so there's no noise here of stuff that's not relevant to me.
Okay.
But what's key for something like this new shift is I can see it here, but then I can immediately interact with it. So
right. So let's say you're a paramedic and you see this notice, you're like, oh, I want that shift,
right,
or I want to swap with another worker?
Yeah, so typically these are being fed from another system, your existing scheduling or rostering system.
Okay.
And I'll just press view and apply, and then we'll load that other system up and allow you to do something from here, like accept the shift or swap a shift or advertise a shift for swap. So it's really frictionless. It saves people a lot of time and a lot of hassle. And what companies see is shift fulfillment rates go up, so there's less unfilled shift, less agency workers, those kind of things.
Yeah. And so in terms of using the app and updating content on the app, would that typically be done by an HR group or other people within the company that wanted to either get announcements out or updated, or is there a lot of IT work that needs to be done behind the scenes?
Yeah, very little IT work, so most of the integrations are out of the box.
Okay.
And yeah, a company will typically assign a group of users who can administer the platform. But oftentimes it's just the supervisors, the frontline managers who are the ones creating content, sharing shifts availability, sharing operational updates. Just do it more convenient for that.
And are there benefits for companies that don't have a lot of frontline workers, or they might not like it, or can this be applied to other companies, or is this really geared for people that have a large majority or a large workforce that typically doesn't have the desktop?
Yeah, so most of our customers have a mixed use case. The goal is to bring everybody together, so it definitely serves the desk-based workers as well. And I'll show you the desktop experience in just 1 second.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep going.
Just one last thing before I switch gears. The good example here is of Workday triggering a notification, which would have come through on their phone as a notification, just say, hey, your new pay stub's available. So again, rather than getting that through the mail, which costs the company lots of money and is slow and cumbersome, you can get it on your phone. You can open it. There's an extra layer of security. So I just try and authenticate myself if I can remember my password. So it's a PDF. They can view it. You can download it.
Yep.
Now, what's key here is, let's say that this is not quite right, or you're not sure the hours are correct. You can immediately come out of here, go back to your hub, click on Ask Payroll on the left-hand side, and we're going to load up a form, which is probably integrated with ServiceNow or something like that, to say, hey, look, I've got an inquiry about my pay. I don't think it's quite right.
Right.
So someone can just quickly log that and then get a notification back through the app when it's completing things. So
right.
It's really putting everything in one place and making it super easy and super simple.
Yeah, because a lot of these workers don't have a lot of time to kind of deal with that kind of work, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So this is shaving minutes off their day so they can get back and see their families or.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to show the desktop part of it too, right?
Yeah, of course. So if I just slide this over to the side.
There we go. Yep.
So there's the desktop part of it. So I think very similar experience overall, but obviously designed not so much for desktop. But what I was just going to quickly show, a feature we added recently, it's probably be fairly familiar to a lot of people here, is Blink Assist. So the concept being, using all the latest large language models, we can help people get over writer's block and create an initial post more quickly. You can improve something you've written or write a new post. If we just click write a new post.
It wouldn't be a show of demo without talking about generative AI these days, right?
There you
go.
Yeah. We're just experimenting a bit, seeing where the value is here and see if we can save some people some time. So if I just say, thank everyone for their hard work last weekend and for taking extra shifts during the major event. I don't know, maybe there's a marathon on or something.
And then you can turn this into a bunch of different, right?
Yeah. So say thank you message, and it gives it an idea of the tone, and then it gives you an initial thing to work from. I can make it slightly more professional, maybe. It's going to go away and just kind of do that. It's going to make it a bit more friendly. I can maybe I'll simplify the language a bit to make it just a bit more readable. And
there's no sarcasm button in
there. No British sarcasm button. I don't know. We need that.
That's really cool. That's really fast too.
Yeah, so I think it just helps you get over writer's block. You can
sure.
You can. I tend to do that, and then you'll edit it until your heart's content.
Yeah, and what's the pricing model behind the application? Is it subscription based? Is it cloud? Are they hosting on site?
Yeah, so it's hosted in the cloud, and it's per user per year subscription typically. So most of our agreements end up being enterprise-wide license agreements. But
okay, and where can people go for more information if they're interested in this?
Go to joinblink.com, joinblink.com.
All right, Sean Nolan, thanks again. Thanks for the demo.
Thanks, Keith.